when we talk gently, when we talk kindly. For me, it was wanting to keep Rainbow as much as possible in rest digest mode as she acclimatized to her life outside the shelter and with me. And as I spoke to her really kindly and gently, it changed the way I spoke to myself. And so I've kind of built on it. And now I give presentations on rescue cats and polyvagal theory. So notice yourself. Is there a way in which just imagining yourself as a beloved cat, puppy, baby, lizard, whatever you love, could improve your self-talk? Hi, I'm Eve Menezes Cunningham, and you're listening to the Feel Better Everyday podcast. Every Tuesday, I share trauma-informed and ADHD-friendly self-care ideas to help you take better care of yourself, and yourself with that uppercase S, that highest, truest, wildest, most joyful, brilliant, miraculous part of yourself, helping you create a life you don't need to retreat from. You can find out more and connect with me through the feelbettereverydaypodcast.com. And if you want a deeper dive into this week's episode and all of the exclusive content for all the episodes, you can join the Soul to Soul Circle. It's a fully embodied transpersonal approach from the soles of the feet to the soul. And you then have immediate access to a rich archive, which includes the whole Love Your Whole Self chakra journey. You can also find out more in the book, 365 Ways to Feel Better, Self-Care Ideas for Embodied Wellbeing, and access a wide range of resources for everything from trauma and ADHD, anxiety, stress, confidence, resilience, menopause, self-care for solopreneurs, burnout, all sorts, at selfcarecoaching.net. Today's episode 70, is to celebrate International Cat Day. And so I have an obvious shout out to Rainbow Magnificat, Mighty Maeve, Terry Crews Cat, and Angel Houdini, and all the wondrous felines that can inspire us all to be more cat. So I've been using rescue cats to help me explain the nervous system and other elements around my work to clients and groups for over 13 years, when Rainbow Magnificat, bringing her back from the shelter, changed my life. So the idea of being more cat sounds simple, and it is. Can you imagine if you had the catitude, the confidence of a beloved cat? You can find out more about this element of my work and access a range of tools and resources at selfcarecoaching.net/feline. And you can also listen to the Purr, Hiss, Freeze episodes and the Smelly Cat episodes and others of the Feel Better Everyday podcast. And there'll be links in the show notes. So in a nutshell, polyvagal theory and beginning to talk to myself in a more soothing way, like understanding more about how tone of voice impacts how safe we feel, how, like, if you imagine someone yelling at you, it's an immediate stress, survival, sympathetic survival response. When we talk to ourselves like that, we're living way more of our lives than we need to. When we talk gently, when we talk kindly, for me, it was wanting to keep Rainbow as much as possible in rest digest mode as she acclimatized to her life outside the shelter and with me. And as I spoke to her really kindly and gently, it changed the way I spoke to myself. And so I've kind of built on it. And now I give presentations on rescue cats and polyvagal theory. So notice yourself. Is there a way in which just imagining yourself as a beloved cat, puppy, baby, lizard, whatever you love, could improve your self-talk? And we'll move more deeply into the feel part of the Feel, Love, Heal framework by just recognizing that you can do lots of things to regulate your nervous system and to use active self-care to feel better in pretty much any situation. I encourage you to go back to the Purr, Hiss, Freeze episode but to find your own names as you learn to map your own nervous system. So I use purr because everyone knows what a cat is like when it purrs, and it's open to connection. It's feeling safe enough. It's letting itself feel good. And that's what we want in ventral vagal. We want to be there as much as we can, but obviously life be lifing, we can't. But still, those moments, those micro moments, they're helping heal your nervous system. So find something for yourself to represent purr. Some people use songs, some people use like weather that they love, a place, whatever it might be, but something as a shorthand for yourself for ventral vagal. Think purr. Think in extreme purr, a cat welcoming a belly rub and being really like it takes that vulnerability. It shows how safe it is and how much it wants connection, and also complete confidence in her boundary setting abilities and activating murder button as soon as the belly rub no longer suits. So think for yourself. And then for hiss, it's that sympathetic survival element. So thinking about when you notice yourself moving into stress response, as you map it, as you think, again, go back to that episode, but as you think about the warning signs for yourself, use one of them perhaps as a replacement for hiss to give it your own name. And then for freeze, the dorsal vagal, that kind of collapse, overwhelm. What's the point? I always think of when I take Rainbow to the vet or Maeve to the vet, and well, Rainbow, because Maeve doesn't do this. But Rainbow is divine, obviously, all creatures are. And she loves to be held, she loves to be carried around and picked up and purrs away. But she does not like when I shut the bathroom door after her. She doesn't like that at all because she knows it means we're going to the vet, even though I've put the cat carrier in the bathroom so she can sniff it and explore it and all the rest of it. I put her in the carrier, explaining the whole time that we're going to the vet, it will help her, blah, blah, blah. And she's not happy at all. Once the carrier is sealed, she continues to meow. And as soon as I open the front door and put it outside, she goes silent. And I travelled the whole way from Essex in the southeast of England to Westport on the west coast of Ireland, with complete silence. And from Dublin, especially, it was horrific because it was dark and she's a black cat and I couldn't see her. And she was just so silent. I was trusting that she was okay, but it's that dorsal vagal collapse. She knows by the time the carrier is shut and it's outside, there's no point her fighting. She's going to the vet. Or in this case, she was coming to wondrous Westport, where she lives a glorious, joyful life. But in that state, her system was overwhelmed. So for you, think about what you want to call it, like freeze, that state where it's all too much for you, and you don't want to stay there. Like you want to move as much as possible into ventral vagal. As you ponder the things, people, places, behaviors, all the things that make you want to purr, that make you feel safe and connected enough to welcome belly rubs, or your equivalent, remind yourself that not only is it completely normal to move back and forth between these states the whole time, um, you have, even if you haven't had a trauma history or if you haven't got ADHD, I know most of my listeners and viewers do, you've been conditioned pretty much your entire life, including before you were born, to work against your nervous system so that people could sell things to you and people could control you. So your mummy was likely conditioned away from her inner knowing when she was pregnant with you, and she was likely overwhelmed by lots of conflicting information, or medical professionals, well-meaning as they may have been, or loved ones, again, well-meaning as they may have been, or just the culture at the time. Parenting advice changes so much. She may have been very, very stressed during your pregnancy at certain times, as well as really excited and like feeling great. But ideal world, she would have been completely supported by the culture and by medicine to honour her knowing in terms of what felt good for her and her baby, you. So you've had this kind of stress since before you were born, this moving away from what you know, like a cat knows to move towards that sun puddle or that cosy spot. We all are mammals, we all have this inherent knowing, but we've been so conditioned against it. It can be really challenging to allow ourselves to be more cats, to give ourselves those micro moments of feeling great that work together to heal the nervous system. So it's especially important with trauma and ADHD. And as an example, as I was making a few notes for this episode, I was thinking it's a lovely day. It's not as hot as it's been, but it is really lovely. And the grass and the lavender and the roses, I want to sit outside and make a few notes. And my immediate thing was, you can't, you have to do, 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 do. And it's like, but I want to. And it's like, oh my God, why am I stopping myself doing what feels good? It's like, what, I didn't have time. It takes a few seconds to take off my shoes and socks, and it's just a few meters from the house to the bench outside where I can sit with my feet firmly planted on the beautiful grass, feel grounded as I write. So I want you to think about ways in which you can give yourself as many moments of feeling the grass on your feet barefoot, if you like the feel of the grass on your feet. Um, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. Ventral vagal moments, those purr moments, it's very different for different people. There are lots of things that loads of people like, but the more you get to know your own nervous system, the more you befriend yourself, the more you recognize that you are worthy of getting to know and love, the better. And again, you only need those micro moments to reconnect to yourself with that uppercase S, others, the divine, and everything else. And it it's those tiny, tiny moments of what feels good. They really do build up. Um, for the love element of the feel, love, heal framework, it's about acceptance, allowing yourself to just be, remembering that you are perfect or perfect just the way you are. So, have you ever met a beloved cat that didn't know its worth? Take cats as your inspiration and remind yourself that cats haven't been marketed to their entire 9 lives. They haven't been told that they need to look a certain way or have certain things or a gazillion other redunculous standards and arbitrary measures for deserving love, safety, connection, rest, and purriness, ventral vagal wellness. So you have the power right now to accept yourself exactly as you are and to know exactly what you need in any given moment as you take those first steps or you build on them towards self love and acceptance. So it may be giving yourself permission to nap when you're tired, or eat when you're hungry, or drink when you're thirsty, or a gazillion free, simple things that all give yourself that message that you, just like any cat, are divine and worthy of love, safety, connection, all the things that enable you to thrive. So take back that power. Maybe choose a photo of your favourite cat, whether it's yours or someone else's, and use it as wallpaper on your phone as a reminder to be more cat as often as you can. And for the heal part of the Feel, Love, Heal framework this week, think about ways in which you can take your cat inspiration into your family, communities, the world at large. So it might be something as simple as encouraging your child, whatever their age, or parent, whatever their age, to accept and love their whole selves, to notice, especially with parents, if you, as we get older and we realise, of course, they were doing their best, and the conditioning that they had and that they weren't able to overcome necessarily. Notice how you can help them heal just by encouraging them to be more fully themselves and recognizing how their entire being is lovable and worthy. So it might be offering, if you are in a position to do so, or supporting, if not, potentially media training that helps people of all ages to remember that everyone is worthy and they are worthy, just like everyone else, and to potentially just a bit around what we're facing every day, not just with TV advertising like in the olden days or magazines, but through our screens the whole time, what we listen to, what we watch, what is like the sponsored ads, all of it. A little bit of media training, whether you do it yourself or you take someone else's, it can radically change your life to remind yourself that you have way more choices than you might think. Think about like the expression, it's like herding cats. Cats are very much their own, I was going to say people, their own selves. You can take back so much power by listening to your body, listening to your nervous system in any given moment, listening to your mind, listening to your heart, listening to your soul, and doing what's right for you, and using that to help others be more themselves and find safety and connection within their truest expressions of themselves. If you're a Soul to Soul Circle member, you can join today if you're not already and you'd like to be, but your deeper dive bonus content tomorrow is a special yoga nidra to help you be more cat and learn to love and appreciate your whole self. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, it's Black Cat Appreciation Day. So we're talking sharks. I bet you thought I was going to say Rainbow Magnificats. She'll be mentioned and potentially there'll be a cameo from her. She's wandered in and out for this. I was really hoping to have an actual cat to share with you. But cat, I hope that you have a glorious week. And next week, like I say, we'll be talking sharks for International Black Cat Appreciation Day. And we'll be dealing with shadow work, and the deeper dive for Soul to Soul Circle members will go into a practice around that. Thanks again for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, follow, all the things, whatever feels good for you. And the Feel Better Everyday podcast is produced by me, your host, Eve Menezes Cunningham. I hope you have a gorgeous week. Find yourself a glorious, comfortable sun puddle to rest in, some wonderful, joyful things to play with, and let yourself be more cat.